How is it to go? Well, now out there, everybody. This is Jordan Jones. I would like to talk about the hardest levels from each Mario game. It will have each Mario game on the list. Um, it will not count Mario the Lost Levels because we already know the hardest level of Lost Levels is C-3. So the Lost Levels and Super Mario Run will not be on there. The only so I'm about to say that 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 the classic 2D Mario games will not be on there. So if you guys give me a favor and drop a like, I'd really appreciate that. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. And click on the bell right beside it to be notified every time my new videos come out. And without further ado, let's go. I think we might start with Super Mario 64 because I think that's what we might start with. I just wanted to start with this game. So if I had to pick the hardest level in this game, there's multiple levels I could pick for the hardest one, but I've only fully beaten this game one time. But that wasn't even 100%. That was just I'm trying to find it. I can't even find it. I don't play this game that much, so. But if I did have to pick the hardest level, what would it be? Let's look around a little bit to see if we can find it. Come on, go in there. I think that would be the Mario winging over the rainbow stuff where you have to ride this carpet near the rainbow. So I've never beaten this level, so I'm going to go with this level as the hardest. I'm going to pick it to be the hardest, so. Because you do have tricky platforming in this level, and levels like this in this game have the trickiest platforming ever. So I'll just go with that one. Not really much I'm going to say, so moving on to the next game. Alright, you was expecting to see a level from Super Mario Sunshine, so if I had to pick, Super Mario Sunshine has plenty of difficult levels, so, and it would be hard to pick the number one hardest in Super Mario Sunshine, since there are plenty of challenging levels in this game. But if I had to go with the hardest, I'd have to say The Secret of the Village Underside in Piano Village. I would go with that as the hardest. Excuse me. Because that's the one I've struggled with the most. Out of all times I've struggled with it, I've struggled with it the most. Out of any level. And I'm trying to get to Piano Village. And there we go, we're in Piano Village, so if I had to pick the hardest level in Super Mario Sunshine, I would go with Secret of the Village Underside. Mainly because it is the most is mainly because in this level what you gotta do is you gotta give Yoshi wherever he wants. And you have to make sure Yoshi can have that fruit. And then after you give it to Yoshi, and you have to make sure you give this to Yoshi, and when you give it to Yoshi, Yoshi will hatch out his egg. And then when Yoshi hatches out of his egg, what you gotta do is, you gotta ride Yoshi and then use him to go this way. This part's not really that difficult. It's mainly the secret level itself that's hard. Because when you go to the secret level, you have to talk to these piantas and have them throw you, and this can be a chore. This can be really frustrating. And it's one of the most frustrating things in video game history. Because if you get thrown the wrong way, you are toast. Excuse me, I've sneezed. Excuse me. Alright, so that's all to say about this level, because I don't want to go through the frustration it takes to beat this level. Moving on to the next game. Alright, so if I had to pick... I know Super Mario Galaxy is technically one of the easier Mario games out there, but I know there's not that many difficult levels in this game, but if I had to pick the hardest, definitely I'll have to go with a very sticky situation from the Sling Pod Galaxy. No surprise at all. Because if I had to pick the hardest level, I would go with the Sling Pod Galaxy. What makes this level so hard is because it requires precise timing to go from Sling Pod to Sling Pod. And you can easily mess it up. And it's definitely the most execution heavy level there is in the game. So... and it's really easy to screw up around here. That's why I'll go with this as the hardest. I know people might disagree on me, and some people might say Lava Spire Daredevil Run would be the hardest or something, and a lot of people consider Luigi's Purple Coins the hardest. But this one's always been the hardest for me. Because... and then this part's not too hard, this part's pretty simple, you just have to use the pull stars and stuff. And then you just have to do that. And then this part is slightly harder than it looks. Because you have to precisely time your sling pods. Which is not too hard with some practice, but can be hard if you don't practice enough. That's all I'm going to say about this level, because it's super easy to die in this level, so we're going to move on to the next game. If I had to pick the hardest level from Mario Kart Wii, this will be the only Mario Kart game we talk about in this video. I'll definitely go with Rainbow Road. And this is definitely the hardest Rainbow Road I've played in any Mario Kart game. What makes this track so hard is because there's some really sharp turns and it's really easy to fall off the track. But at least one really nice thing about it is that you're in outer space and you have a really pretty view of outer space. But the hard part is that you can fall off really easily. But this track's really fun too. But it has some really sharp turns that require precise timing in order to make those turns. And then that's why I'll go with this as the hardest for Mario Kart Wii. And then it continues like this. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily fall off the track. And stuff like that, and vice versa. That's all to say about it, so now moving on to the next game. If I had to pick the most difficult level in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, no surprise at all, I would definitely have to go with World 9-7 because what makes this level so hard is because this might just be one of the hardest Mario levels of existence. Because you're on ice and then the piranha plants are trying to melt all the ice that have urchins underneath them or something, that have that enemies underneath them or something. And if you rush through it, it's not too bad with some practice, but trying to get the star coins on the other hand is a whole nother story. Because you can easily just... Like, the third star coin of this level is the hardest star coin of the game, and that star coin is so difficult that I can't even get it every time. I can get it sometimes, I can't get it every time, so... And then this is no surprise at all how this level would have to be the hardest. That's all I'm going to say about it, so moving on to the next game. We already know if I had to pick the hardest level... Excuse me, we already know if I had to pick the hardest level of Super Mario Galaxy 2, I would definitely have to go with the perfect run, because the perfect run is pretty much the only level in this game I've ever had a panic attack on trying to beat. Because I accidentally selected the wrong level. What's wrong with me? So if I had to pick the hardest level in Galaxy 2, I would definitely go with the perfect run. I know the ultimate test might be a close second when it comes to toughness for the game, but the hardest is definitely the perfect run. Mainly because there are no checkpoints here, and of course you have to go through the whole maze without getting hit once. Excuse me. And that's nearly impossible because of human error. This is like one of the hardest levels in video game history. Because you cannot take your time. If you do, you'll mess up. And it's going to bother you when you get close to the end. Make you feel paranoid. Make you feel like you're... And the more paranoid you feel, the more likely you are to mess up. Because you know you can only take one hit and you'll die. You have to be fast to get past this first part. Even this is not even the hardest part yet. There's a good strategy you can use to help you out here, but even that's not even 100% consistent. Because this level's super duper difficult. Like it really is. And it's not a level that you are likely to master in an afternoon. But at one point, you may be able to beat this level consistently. and you can't take a hit, like, at all. And it keeps going on and on. The more precise tricks you have to perform. This part's the easiest part of the level right here, where you have to use the cloud flower to do platforming, because if you swing the Wii remote, you can create your own cloud. And that's all there is to it. And then you just have to do that. And then I love how the music changes every time you go to the level like this. Which is really cool how the music changes every time you go through the level like this. Like this. And this level is evil. This level is evil like that. Because this level is really, really difficult. Like, it's absolutely super difficult. It is so bad. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So now moving on to the next game. If I had to pick the hardest level in Super Mario 3D Land, no surprise at all, it would have to be the crown level of Special World 8. It had to be Special World 8-Crown to be the hardest level in the game. The main reason why is because the only way I have a possible chance of beating it is just if I play with a Tanuki suit. Because I know most of the levels are not even that difficult in this game, but at the same time, a lot of jumps require really precise timing, and it's really easy to screw up like that. That's all I have to say about it, so moving on now. I know New Super Mario Bros. 2 is one of the easier Mario games, but if I had to pick the hardest level in this game, I would definitely go with the castle in the Star World, which is World Star-Castle, to be the hardest level in New Super Mario Bros. 2 for the main game. What makes this level so hard is that the Koopalings are trying to chase you here, and you have to, if you get flashed, if you're in the flash when they flash at you, you will become stone. And then you have to be in these wall areas to avoid turning into stone. But this level is still not a super hard level, as there's plenty Mario levels from other games that are way harder than this. As you can see right here. And the level does get more difficult as it continues. As you can see right here. It keeps getting harder and harder as it goes on. As you can see right here, it does get harder and more difficult as it goes on. Because you have the snake block you have to ride on. Plus, dodging these seesaws can be hard too if you don't know what to do. And you have to be under these kind of walls like that in order to avoid being hit by the flash. And that's the part you don't want to run into where you turn into a stone like I did. That's all I'm going to say. Moving on to the next game. I know New Super Mario Bros. U has a pretty good variety of difficult levels I could pick. There's a good amount of difficult levels I could pick, but if I had to pick the hardest one, I'll definitely have to pick Superstar Road 8 Pendulum Castle. The reason why this level is so hard because it requires some really tricky platforming sections. It requires some really tricky platforming and stuff like that. And you have to really watch out for the pendulums. And this can take a lot of practice to get down pat. Because this level's like really, really difficult. And that's why it's so hard, is because of that. Again, the star coins is a whole nother story of difficulty. And stuff like that. And you really have to watch out for the pendulums here. And then you just have to keep dodging these guys like this. So this is definitely the hardest. I know Fire Bar Cliffs might be a close second when it comes to toughness, but at the same time, Pendulum Castle is definitely the hardest by a long shot. And here is the most difficult star coin in the game up here. And that's all I'm going to say. Moving on now. I know New Super Luigi U is pretty difficult overall, but it is harder to pick the hardest level of this game because most levels are pretty difficult anyway. Excuse me. So if I had to pick the hardest, I would definitely go with Superstar 06 Fire Bar Sprint. What makes this level so hard is because you have to take the name very literally. And this is just really, really hard. Like, I am not even kidding. I can't say much about it. Moving on to the next game now. So Super Mario 3D World has definitely had plenty of difficult levels in the game, so... But if I had to pick the hardest, I'll definitely have to say Champion's Road, for sure. Because Champion's Road is definitely the hardest in 3D World, because I am not good at this level. I suck at this level. I know I've done IL speedruns on speedrun.com of like other levels in this game, but this level I pretty much suck at. Because the only way I have a chance of beating this level is just if I use the Tanuki suit. Because this level might just be the second hardest Mario level of existence. It might just be the second hardest Mario level of existence. Excuse me. Next to one of the levels that we'll talk about later. And then right here, you just gotta watch out for the beat blocks right here. And you have to time your long jumps perfectly along with them, or else if you don't time it perfectly, you're gonna get screwed. And this level's so hard. Not much I can say. Now we're gonna move on. So, if I had to pick, I know Super Mario Odyssey is a rather easy game, but if I had to pick the hardest level in Super Mario Odyssey, I'll definitely have to go with the darker side of the moon. Because of all times I've died here the most. So, because there is a lot of precise timing required here. This first part's pretty easy, you just have to use the frog like that, and then you just have to do that. Excuse me. And then this is the part, I love how it has music of different kingdoms. So this level's pretty challenging too. because it really tested your skills. And it's pretty much the only like extreme difficult level there is. Like extremely difficult level there is in Super Mario Odyssey has to be this one. Especially since most levels are not that hard. Because this game is one of the easier Mario games out there, but if I had to pick the hardest, I would definitely go with the darker side of the moon. Because it's a crown level, kind of like Champion's Road from 3D World, the Grandmaster Galaxy from Galaxy 2, and the crown level from 3D Land. It's a level you play with precision and perfection and stuff like that. Here you have the lava bubble where you have to use it to go through sections like this. And stuff like that. And that's really all you have to do right here, so... And that's probably the, In this part, you have to use these up ropes in order to go up, which are these onion guys. And back when I was a kid, this level gave me a lot of trouble. I don't have too much trouble with it anymore. I can beat it pretty easily now. But it's definitely not as difficult as Champion's Road, I'd have to say that. And then here you have to avoid the fuzzies right here. And here you have to use Yoshi right here to go from side to side. And then stuff like that. So, it is, so this part is one of the easier parts, because you can triple jump to get on top of this platform right here. And then you can talk to the Sphinx and answer the riddle for the Sphinx, and then he has an easy answer, which is Mushroom Kingdom. And once you answer the riddle for the Sphinx, you're about to do this, and you have the glide on part and stuff like that. That's all I'm going to say about it, so now moving on. If I had to pick the hardest level in Super Mario Maker 2, I'll definitely go with the level I created called the Ultimate Test. This will be the last game we talk about in this video. You have to reach the goal as Builder Mario, and this is definitely the hardest Mario level of existence I've ever played. So I thought I might as well talk about this one last. Since it is time consuming and stuff, and the level's difficult and stuff, so I thought I might as well talk about this one last. Hopefully they will make a Super Mario Maker 3. I would love to see one. And hopefully they'll also make a Super Mario Odyssey 2. I know for 3D Mario games to get sequels is quite rare. The last, of course, Super Mario Galaxy got a sequel on the Wii. Alright. And then this part right here has you using the cat suit to get up here. And climbing this is more difficult than it looks. And you have to ride the snake blocks here. And it's pretty, the snow's pretty in the background, at least that's good. And once you go in here, this is the hardest part, where you have to use this power-up right here. Which isn't the easiest power-up in the world to control, so... But thankfully, once you do use it... You'll be able to make your way here and then go inside the pipe right here. And here's where you get another bolt wheel thing right here. Which isn't... And that's all I have to say about this level. And that's it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to click on that subscribe button. And click on the bell right beside it to be notified every time my new videos come out. Have a great day, guys. Peace.